the studio. Alex, you should be rolling here.
Are we good? Are we?
Close out of this video, and then let's open up the. Let me make sure we're all right. There we go. Oh, perfect. There we go. Yep, it's live. It's live again. So,
okay, so we're back.
Let me go get the studio back up. Yep.
So,
Yep.
if anyone was wondering, that was entirely my fault. Everything can be blamed on me.
Blame the Brits.
Blame the British. It's very, very easy targets. In every single.
Unfortunately.
Exactly. You can't go around being brutal and trying to invade half the world and make them speak your language and then expect anyone to like you, especially after you then just get pissed on stag do's in other people's countries.
You're not to blame for your history, though. So
No, it's not. I mean, it's not personally just me, you know. No, but where we were talking about equipment, and there's a big loss of equipment, obviously, because there is a full-scale war going on. So you know, drones, thousands of drones can be used up per month, you know, with electronic warfare and those types of things. So continuously supporting and getting new equipment is super key to Ukraine winning the war as quickly as possible. One of the things that we do think affected the stream is the weather, right? So, you know, I think we do have a fairly dramatic weather update today, that being that it has rained quite a lot. So much so that we forgot that the studio was sort of hanging over here, so this chair is absolutely soaked, which is why I'm sitting on a rug. I mean, look up there. I mean, it's pretty overcast, isn't it? It was raining when we started this morning. The forecast throughout the day, I mean, we're going to get highs of sort of mid-70 Fahrenheit. It is expecting to be overcast with some sun towards late evening. So 8-9 o'clock, if Andrew's doing later streams, it might look quite nice.
I must say your weather update is pretty professional. You did it just like you were on the television.
He can do
before.
weather, he can do sports, all kinds of stuff.
I know, it's like I found my hidden other personality, Rick, that's being like, you know, the weatherman and fashion correspondent from
like
Ukraine. You know, we're thinking about, you know, like where they have the little board where the weatherman, you cut to the weatherman, I'll have a little screen, you know, I'm going to do the different oblasts, you know, maybe we'll get that going next week.
We can actually set the green screen here and do the action.
Exactly, man, and I could be pointing to it. Exactly,
awesome.
You see.
I wanted to, guys, I wanted to talk a bit more about the night vision goggles, because in the beginning of the invasion we were brought a lot of like hunting grade goggles, hunting grade scopes. They are not very good. What we need is rather either military grade scopes, night vision goggles, or something close to that. The reason for that is the scopes that are used for hunting, they have worse quality. You don't see as much as, you know, in military grade. Also, if they use active infrared lighting, it means that all the Russians that have night vision goggles will see this huge projector just lighting at them, and like you're just destroying all the, you know, disguise and everything. So another thing, hunting scopes, sometimes there's like this huge screen that shines bright on your face. In military grade scopes they have, you know, those eyepieces that just don't, you know, don't make you discover yourself for the Russians. So military grade equipment, that's what I wanted to say.
I can actually I can actually add something about that. For example, my friend El Greco asked me for a thermal scope for his rifle. We were actually closing the fundraiser for 5 stocks for rifles for his unit, and he needs that thermal scope. But he told me that it will cost about $10,000, the professional one. Can you imagine thermal scope? It can be that expensive. If it's a military grade thing, it would cost probably 5 times more than those hunting things, and it, as just Starsky said, will affect the disguise. It's really needed. This is why it's a huge amount of money. And about drones, I wanted to update. To bring you the update, because Russians started using FPV drones a lot more. First we were doing it and they almost had none of it, but right now Deep State, which I totally recommend you to use that map, and they have a Telegram channel, amazing one. They do daily updates on everything, and they told us that right now 55-hour hits with FPV drones got, how do you call it? Russians have 47 hits right now, so it's almost equal. They equally use those FPV drones. This is why we need to supply more to our army. Unfortunately, we need to double our efforts. I know it's been hard sometimes because fundraisers are everywhere. There's a lot of them, but unfortunately that's something that's needed. We need to increase our support. How hard it could seem, but we need to do that because we need to mobilize everything. We have our counter-offensive going. This is why we need to mobilize all the forces we have.
Of course.
And it's like, the China that plays this kind of peacekeeper, they supply Russians with DJI drones all the time. And
that's why actually they've increased their numbers.
Yeah, and that's why we need to continue to increase the numbers for Ukraine. And like they were saying, I haven't used a hunting scope. I've only used military ones, like a PAZ 13, and those are like, you can white hot, black hot buttons in there, and like you said, it's got an eye cup, so you got to like stick you actually put it into your eye, and you can see in there. It's got just a beautiful imager. That's just like one example, but I've noticed that you had gotten. Could you show an example?
Well, I can go and get the thing that we.
Yeah, why don't you go and get it? We have something for because that's what we specialize in, trying to bring these type of scopes, drones, and obviously trucks to the Ukrainian soldiers. Well, he's grabbing that. Rick, why don't you, if you're okay with it, if you're up to it, we had a couple questions. Would you mind sharing your experience while living in Donbass under the Russian occupation? Thank you.
Sure, I can. Thank you. Okay, so what can I say? It's first, it's a lot of stupidity there. You see around the official, I don't know, how do you call lozungs? How do you? Mottos. Yeah, they have those mottos. There are billboards everywhere with the Soviet Union style. They actually take the Soviet Union banners, the old ones from 30s, 20s, 40s. They just rephrase it, and it's those like, have you joined the Soviet military? All that stuff. Always that agitation everywhere. They do a lot of, damn it, how do you call it? Force. They make all the entrepreneurs set the flags at their stores. They force do all those agitation at their stores, at their businesses. It's a typical totalitarian regime. They just force you to do everything. And when you, of course, there are no right of movement there. There's a constant curfew for years. For 9 years, there's been a curfew from 10 p.m. You should be at home, and until some morning, I guess 5 or 6 a.m. And you cannot speak freely, of course. Of course, if you say that you're pro-Ukrainian, and especially in front, if you say it to the face of some military or some police, you'll definitely be getting into some basement. You're going to be tortured. You're going to be probably raped too. It doesn't matter if you're men or women. You're going to be raped probably, because Russians, they are just cruel, and they take pleasure in their tortures, as I know. There's a great book, Isolation or In Isolation, by Aseyev, Ukrainian, I guess he's a writer, an activist. He spent years there, and he describes all the torture. I'm not sure if there's an English version of that book, I'm gonna look it up and give you an update on the next streams. So I'll definitely recommend you to read it to know how it's actually to have an active position, pro-Ukrainian position there in occupation. But yeah, I needed to be silent about that. I just needed to live a simple life without any activism or politics, and I was always pro-Ukrainian. And between friends, we never hidden it. There are a lot of pro-Ukrainian people there. All those narratives, Russian narratives, that people want to be with Russia, it's all fucking bullshit. I won't actually be censoring myself in this.
You don't have to.
I know. We're on YouTube.
Absolutely.
And it's total nonsense. Even more than half of the people there, they love Ukraine. They want Ukraine be back, liberating them, and they're waiting just like in Kherson with the flags buried there in the ground in jars. They will be putting them on when Ukraine comes back there. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna be not that hard to reintegrate Ukrainian people. They are Ukrainian people.
Of course.
It's
I have a question for you. As a local who live like a lot of years there in Donbass, can you say something about the bullshit that Russia says about like Russian-speaking people being repressed, murdered, whatever, tortured, like restricted from using Russian language and all that shit?
It's total bullshit because in Ukraine before 2014 we all spoke Russian language there. No one was asked about it, anything. We even had documents in Russian. It was two languages always, Ukrainian copy and a Russian copy, just so it would be easier for people. So it was kind of governmental policy to provide people with the Russian translation so they can understand better. It's a total bullshit, and I can actually say that Donbass wasn't bombed, or Donbass wasn't domed for these 8 years.
Yeah, you lived there. You were there.
Where have you been for 8 years?
Yeah.
That narrative is stupid. No, it's actually been less and less shelling. I heard some pretty loud shelling in 2015. There was an active phase, and 14 of course, but 15 I lived there in some, how do you call the side of your town, city, not the center of it, but the very side of it.
Outskirts.
Outskirts, yeah. I was living there, and Russians were putting their howitzers right near my building.
Wow.
At night, and they were fucking shooting Avdiivka from Makiivka. I heard how they were shooting, and they were then saying that Ukrainians bombed Avdiivka. I remember those moments. We were reading the news the next morning. It was total narratives. I was the witness of it, not with my eyes, but with my ears in that case. But yes, they bombed themselves. They actually did that, and they constantly do that. It's actually a typical Russian behavior. They bomb their own cities. They, do the terroristic acts in their buildings since 2000, since year 2000 when Putin came to power. It's their typical tactics. So we must always remember that, and we must tell the truth to people who still, unfortunately, in the world influenced by that Russian propaganda narratives.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't know the fact that Russians, because technically Ukrainians living in Donbass, they're not Russians, they're Ukrainians. That's why Russians give no fuck about those people. That's why there are like hundreds of cases of Russians shooting both sides. I think Rick can confirm this. There are videos showing like Russian MLRS shooting both sides, and there are plenty on the YouTube as well.
So when you hear the narrative that Russia would never blow up their own blank, blank, blank,
Yes.
it's bullshit every time. Like people, without fail. Like I really plugged into the war, obviously, when the full-scale invasion started. But even within this scope, like, there's still almost every time Russia does a terroristic act, or like they're going to blow up their own positions, that people without fail will say, Russia, why would they blow up their own shit? It is part of their strategy, whatever that strategy, whatever. It's a losing one, but that's the one that they're choosing. It's to maximize terrorism upon people. Like, you have all these missiles and artillery, and thinking militarily wise, you would think they would use them on Ukrainian military positions, right, to try to slow down counteroffensive. But no, they will use those missiles and send them to Lviv or Kyiv, here where we are, or across all of Ukraine in civilian populated areas.
Yep, they need terror. It's their main tactics. They usually don't use any logic like war tactics. They usually hit some civilian objects just to terrorize people, to break them down. They think that this will break them down, but Ukrainians are not like Russians. We're not that easily broken down. No. We're gonna be that dedicated and strong to get our victory, definitely. And speaking about Donbass and flags, when that hybrid war started, hybrid invasion, when there were putting that damn so-called DPR flags there in Kyiv and Donetsk, I had a wish, always had a wish when I was watching that flag, to burn it down. It was my my dream. I was dreaming of it, and in the night, I actually had dreams sometimes that I'm burning that shit over rag. And I was so happy to see how it was burning when the counteroffensive was happening, and still is happening. We have some villages liberated there in Zaporizhia Oblast and in Donetsk Oblast. It's so amazing to see it. And actually, speaking about flags, I have one with me.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just wanted to give it to you.
Oh my goodness.
As a small present for me.
Oh my goodness.
Please,
oh my goodness.
take it.
Love
and
that.
Oh wow.
Very cool.
I would like you to
I
don't know, carry it with you.
Yes, I definitely will. Oh
If
my
you want.
goodness. Of course I will. Thank you so much for this. This is awesome. This is an amazing gift.
Yeah,
I
man.
love this.
Have
Look
this
at this.
flag.
Look
And
at that.
yeah, I guess I like this one, pretty quality one from
Oh, it is
Epicenter.
It is a very quality flag. The one I had is not, the one I have hanging up isn't a very good quality flag. This one is very, very
So
good.
here's the good flag.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right, let me.
You're definitely staying now.
I
Andrew.
know,
You've
I
got
know,
the
right?
flags.
Oh.
You can actually, you know how our soldiers are putting it on their back. Yeah, you can do that if you want. Just when they come back from captivity, I always love to see how they're been given flags and and been just just
This is
wrapping them up around themselves.
Incredible.
Very cool.
Very cool gift. This is awesome. I mean, I love this. I'm kind of speechless right now. So thank you so much for that. This is a very good gift.
I've got a couple of things.
Let's give it to Alex for a question while I deal with this in my brain.
Will do. Well, first of all, we've got a major update in the weather. It's actually raining out here now for the first time on Good Morning Kyiv, so you're enjoying a bit of Ukrainian rain. To answer the question of this thing, because this goes back to what you guys were talking about between military grade and sort of hunting stuff. This is not military grade, right? So this still cost me about $1,000. You know, if you want to get military grade, you're going to be spending more and more and more. So you wouldn't put this on a gun or anything like that. If you want something that's useful for a rifle, you're going to spend a lot more money. It's a US manufacturer, and it will be used for the drones to help land things like that. So it's pretty cool. It's got a zoom, and it's a thermal imager, so it picks up heat. So it allows you to see things that have a heat source. So obviously humans have a heat source, which is why you have a thermal scope. But also drones can create heat through the battery and stuff like that. So it's quite useful for those purposes. We've show us the box. The box is there. It's called AGM Global Vision. You can pick it up probably in all decent US military retailers, of which you've got loads of them. Have a look. Yeah, have a play if you want, mate. People are asking, are you happy for Starsky and Rick to sign your flag as well?
Would you sign it?
You know.
Yeah. Yes, you sign it. Yes, please.
mounted thermals, it depends again on the quality, the resolution of the optics, its ability to zoom. It could cost thousands, basically. Everyone says, Starsky, you look as good in your civvy clothes as you do in your military.
They're very happy. There was lots of comments yesterday that they're seeing you in civilian clothes for a little bit. He's still like half ready though, you guys. Like he needs to, like actually probably underneath his sweatshirt he can just pull out and just go right in if he needs to. But it is nice being able to see you relax a little more in your civilian clothes, which is just great to see. If you guys haven't, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're live having a great conversation. Part 1 is already posted. We had a little bit of a connection drop, but we reconnected and we're live again here. We have special guests Rick the Ukrainian and obviously operator Starsky. Make sure you guys also go and subscribe to their channels. They're tagged in the title. Now back to Alex for a few more questions.
Thanks very much, Andrew. Thank you. Just scrolling back up to try and find some of the ones because they've been racing along. I have been asked, will it rain cats and dogs today? I believe it will if you go around to Starsky's house. People are asking if we can help, like, produce a letter, like, that can help people then raise funds for night vision and so on and so forth. I mean,
to, like, politicians?
Yeah, exactly that, Andrew. Yeah,
that's absolutely possible. I mean, in America, the United States, and especially the UK, our countries, we can reach out to our politicians directly. You can talk to them. You can build rapport with them if you want. Start local, though. You got to start bottom. You can shoot for the stars and go federal if you want, but you're probably going to have a harder time, unfortunately, getting an answer back. Some senators are really good about it. I know Minnesota senators are good about getting back, but you can really start at the local level, and then they, with their power that they can make, and because they have connections in politicians, you know what I mean, the local electors, and they can talk up high and go up the chain of command easier than you probably can. But it's still an option you can do. We can put a letter together, draft one, and then give it to, like, my governor Tim Walz, or my mayor Jacob Fry in Minneapolis, and we could figure that out easily. That's something we could do.
we're going to dump quickly just into the fashion section here because there is a question on it. This t-shirt, yes, it is from that shop as well that is downstairs that Andrew will be going to. The socks are also from the same place. I'd like to say that I had deliberately colour matched, but I hadn't. We just I know that's what people have been saying, and it's completely by accident. But Rick, you're being asked, are those Converse All-Star sneakers?
Yep, they are. They are a classic one. I guess the most classic one. Yeah. Converse high five. So yeah, I actually am a fan of those. I have a few of them and always adding some up to my collection. Not every year, but I should start doing it more. Actually, they're saving up pretty much for years because I have a few of them and I carry. I don't need to buy new ones just to have them there standing because I won't be wearing them. So yeah, that's it. Let's go to the next one.
Actually, this is like the only civilian boots I have. I have like Lowy, a lot of them. I have even more than Lowy. I have those Talan boots, military grade Ukrainian Talan boots. I have like 5 pairs of them. So those are the first ones that I bought this year, actually.
And veterans will know in the chat, if you were active duty military, I mean, you wear your boots most of the time, like even just out and about. They're broken in, they're comfortable, you're not going to have foot blisters. So like when I was in Alaska and stationed there, and then obviously overseas, whenever we'd go out, walk around, I had extra shoes, but you really wear what's comfortable. And that just so happened to be the combat boots because they were fitted and they just were really comfortable.
Rick, they do. There's one more fashion question. Like, no, these are Converse, so they're made by Converse. But people also really like your hoodie, and they were wondering where they can get them from, and is it possible?
It's a Ukrainian shop that is streetwear, I guess it is called. It's pretty cheap, I guess, around $25 probably. but it's not
That's
the worst
better. That's
quality.
That's a good
Yeah, go
quality.
give him a
for-
little stroke.
That's a good
Yeah,
quality.
that's a
So
good quality for
I can
25.
actually advertise Ukrainian clothes because it can provide a great quality for a smaller price.
Yeah.
For example, my fellow blogger Yulia, who is Ukrainian and living in US, she's making a campaign to promote Ukrainian brands, and I actually would like to give a shout out to her for that. And so because Ukrainian brands really deserve some attention.
Is there online stores for these? Is there an online store? Do you know?
Online store.
Okay,
and
cool.
Probably one actual store. I'm not sure though.
That's the one question people had asked. Is the store below us at Alex Shopstrom has an online store? We got to ask them. I know that you can for shipping and whatnot. It's a little. We got to figure that out. But we will ask the questions and find that out for you.
There's Rick, the Ukrainian, looks like a modern day Viking. I think that's quite a good comment.
Yeah.
Thank you. So someone did ask earlier on if you would mind letting your hair down.
Like this.
There you go. Yeah, you let it down.
They wanted you to drop. Oh yeah, how can we get Mercado into a traditional Ukrainian outfit? I think he maybe needs the top, doesn't he?
I have one at home, but I need one from here.
I've noticed that one. We're gonna get you one.
Yes.
I have an idea for that actually.
Cool.
So yeah.
Yeah, I do want a white one too as well, because I like the white and the red looks so cool. I mean, there's so many different kinds, but I like that one's going to be one that I guarantee that I get on the way home.
Yeah, absolutely. We have all kinds of styles specific for oblasts or regions in Ukraine. There's one for Donbass. There's one for Zakarpattia, Western Ukraine. There's one for Central Ukraine, Nadnipranщина, Kyivщина, Chernivщина. They all have different. It's like Scottish kilts have different patterns. Specific for each clan. There is different pattern for Ukrainian vyshivanka as well. For different region, also like different clans basically. So we gotta pick you something that looks really cool.
Yeah. All right, well there you guys go. I'm going to be able to get one of those. Any further questions? You guys keep going. The best look on you is the flag right now. I do agree. I'm like more energized now for the day. I don't even need coffee. I'm wearing the energy right here. I got the energy right here on me. Keep asking some questions though, you guys. We'll go a little bit later today because the stream hiccuped, and it's a 2-part stream today. Make sure you go and watch part 1 and then also part 2. This has been a great show that we have started here, and we're going to continue to have more guests as we go throughout the week. I want to have Johnny FD on, which would be too easy. You know what Johnny FD is?
I guess I heard of him, but I'm not sure.
We might have to have you meet him. He posted his birthday vlog yesterday, and I didn't know he edited me into it like that, and actually posted like some of my video that me and Starsky did at Hostomel. Really good guy. He's awesome. Starsky had nachos. Have you ever had nachos before?
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, okay. Starsky had nachos for the first time in his life, and I was there for it. And
maybe I did. I haven't had the real ones. Look forward.
He made real ones. He made a whole tray, and it was just amazing. And we had that birthday party. Lots of birthdays in Kyiv this week. Between Starsky, myself, Johnny FD. I mean, it's been. I turned 30 next week.
I know.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I've heard of it. You were talking about this yourself, and I know. Where's the date? It's 19th.
Yeah, the 19th. Good at memory.
And also, where is Johnny FD from?
I'm not sure where in the U.S. he's from. He's from the U.S. though.
From the U.S. though.
Oh yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Looking forward to meeting him.
Oh yeah, we'll have to have you meet him too. He's solid. But back to Alex for some questions.
Yeah, we've got people are asking Starsky if you can make a Futch and Fluffy calendar for fundraising, which I think is such a lovely idea.
Absolutely. I think I didn't make it so far because I missed the cat. Now I have like a dog and a cat, and I can actually ask Rudy Ruchel or Janine or somebody to make it. I have this friend Mirko designer who does different merch. It's Mirno Print. I will put it in the chat. and he can actually do that calendar and do fundraising. That would be awesome. Absolutely. Thank you for the idea.
So you guys are providing ideas too as well.
We've got, someone's even asked in the chat, where is Aussie tea from? I assume it's Sweden or somewhere like that. Like I imagine it's, the name is misleading.
Yeah, it's a mystery.
It is a mystery, that one, isn't it? It's definitely undercover. There was a question there for... Blimey, it's all moving so quickly. Can I ask Starsky what kind of guitar he plays?
Ooh.
Guys, I'm a shitty player, but when I learned playing, I had Gibson Les Paul Menace. It was, oh my god, it was like the best sounding guitar with passive pickups. I loved it so much, but unfortunately I had to sell it because, like, if you want to do something professionally, you have to do it a lot and dedicate a lot of time to it. But I play a lot of instruments, but I do it in a shitty way. So I prefer just composing music.
That's awesome to hear. I'm going to see musicians here, and also, I'm going to put him on the spot. You do singing lessons too, don't you? You're in singing classes. Starsky is going to become a future Eurovision all-star from Ukraine because he's doing lessons. But that's the thing here, you guys, in Ukraine. Lots of activities after work. It's like something to better themselves mentally, artistically. It's just part of the culture here, which is just amazing. Americans get off work, pull up Netflix, and just, you know what I mean? It is what it is, but it's just a different type of a culture, like trying to constantly better yourself health-wise, working out, like I mentioned, artistically or in your brain. It's just amazing to see, and it's very, very common, very, very common.
People are suggesting he could sing the opening and closing credits on our show, like...
Good morning, Kyiv.
Exactly.
Actually, guys, I'm just learning, okay? I had like 5 lessons maybe, but I can growl it. Absolutely.
Ooh, that's the metal one, right?
Yeah.
Do it.
Okay, I will.
He'll do it on his video. He's like, not right now, but he'll do it on his video. Yeah, we were expecting right now, but he was like, we probably need some music in the background. We'll get him that.
Yeah. No, we'll get you a proper setup, mate. Don't worry. We're not going to put you on the stop. Okay. So thoughts from like each of you on, what are your thoughts from the NATO summit? Do you want to start, Rick?
Yeah, I would like to start.
Yeah.
Then I would be interested in Starsky's comment because
I am too, actually.
I guess you're providing some much professional information. I am not a military man, and I guess it was not something that most of Ukrainian peoples expected, because we were like, give us membership right now, right here, right now. We still have a lot of problems, but you need to do this. But actually it's not that easy, and I agree that there should be some process, and of course we cannot be getting in right now because the war is going, and I totally understand the countries of NATO, because why would they send in their people, soldiers to die here in Ukraine against Russians right now. But in the future, when we're going to win this war, it's our historical mission to win this war. Definitely. Ukrainians need to do this, because this damn enemy been invading us for centuries. I guess since 1447, something like that, 15th century, they've been doing it, and they've been committing this genocide just because they're kind of horde that went from the golden horde. But when we do that, I have no if, because we're going to definitely do that, because we have the support of all the countries in the world. We actually also received the safety guarantees there. Until we have our memberships, we're going to have a planned support from our partners. We're going to have increasing amount of weapons coming in. We're going to have some financial support, and also the support to train our soldiers, our pilots too, from the beginning of August. I have serpen in mind. There's a Ukrainian word for August.
Okay.
And Russian word is actually Avgust. But I like, it's kind of similar. But I like serpen more because it's Ukrainian, definitely, and like everything Ukrainian more than Russian. And we gotta learn to. Yeah, I actually am originally a Russian speaker.
Really?
Because I am from eastern Ukraine. I was speaking.
The irony too. It's just the irony of that. As
Yeah,
well.
yeah. But now I don't want to speak Russian at all. I speak Ukrainian and English, of course. And getting back to NATO summit, we also received new packages of military support, some artillery too, and some armored vehicles. Was it artillery? By the way?
You got some 155s. Yep.
155s. We
Yep.
got it, but mostly ammunition, probably.
Yeah.
But not the new systems. But some armored vehicles. 30 Bushmasters is actually good too.
Yeah, those are nice.
So $1.5 billion of support on this summit, but guarantees are great. Saying that Ukraine is with NATO and it will get into NATO is something that we haven't ever heard yet. We've heard only that doors are opened,
Right.
and this is nothing similar to what we have now. So I feel like it's a great result of this summit. Of course, it's not getting Ukraine in right now and sending F-16 jets from all the NATO right here and destroying all the Russians, but we actually don't live in utopia and things aren't getting done like this. So to be realistic, it's a great result.
Okay. Perfect. Starsky, what's your take on it?
Yeah, I agree on that. I completely agree that NATO countries don't want to sacrifice their soldiers. They don't want to risk. Of course, because unlike fucking Russians, we follow the law, and Europe and other countries follow the law. There is a specific law that says that country in the war cannot be accepted into NATO. That's why miracles like that could not happen. At the same time, I'm convinced, and I was always convinced, that if NATO troops, even if like UN peacekeepers, were present here, if there were NATO airplanes or NATO personnel stationed on Ukrainian air bases, they would never be hit by the Russian missiles. If there were NATO troops in Ukrainian cities, those cities would never be bombed or shelled. That's because you see what Russia does in Ukraine. Russia spent 506 days, trying to capture a country that it was supposed to capture in like several weeks. It's day 506 of a 3-day Russian invasion in Ukraine. So you can imagine what 20 HIMARS did to Russians. You can imagine what hundreds of HIMARS systems can do to Russians. So they are so much afraid of NATO troops. That's why this very policy of hesitating about accepting Ukraine into NATO actually it's a wrong thing completely, because international presence in Ukraine can 100% instantly stop this war. Russians will not continue. And again, one thing that I want to mention is the Russians constantly bullshitted everybody. Yeah.
Let's just get out of the rain for a second.
Yeah, and while our friends moving things, I will continue. The Russians always had this sort of bullshit that Ukraine was attacked or invaded preventively because Ukraine was gonna become a NATO member. Ukraine is struggling over becoming a NATO member since 2008, struggling hopelessly. Check out year 2000, check out all those meetings that we attended in Brussels, 2000, 2001, Nobody talked about accepting Ukraine into NATO. It was like a long-term perspective, and we are talking about decades, not years. Again, it's just one of the excuses made by Russians to, to justify their invasion. I believe in 2014, even after Crimea was annexed, even after invasion of Donbass, 78% of Ukrainians, according to statistics, according to research, still considered Russians their friends. And minority of people, I don't remember the exact number, I think it's approximately less than 30%, they supported joining NATO. You cannot just be told, dude, you're joining NATO tomorrow, and you're like, yeah, sure. It doesn't work like that, guys. You have to approach this decision, and this decision was not approached by the Ukrainian people, and this decision was not approached by the NATO countries. Nobody thought about accepting Ukraine into NATO before, like, seriously considering this before 2022.
A very, very good point to add.
A small addition. Some leaders of European countries were actually against Ukraine getting into NATO, not just hesitating, not just not thinking about it, but they were against it.
Directly against it. Really good insight from both on the opinions on the NATO conference. Very, very good.
As quickly as possible as well, Starsky, are you planning on taking Mercado to the Toilet Museum?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, we gotta do it. Actually, we thought about it like yesterday, but or the day before.
It was 2 days ago already.
Yeah, something like that.
Your vacations are going, isn't it? It's already fun.
Yeah, and I was already called from my job like 50 times. But like 10 days. Yeah, we officially we can have 10 days of vacation, but because I'm a sneaky bastard, I selected the day. So it started on Tuesday. It will end on Friday. So I will have 2 more days.
Nice.
Yeah, it was yeah. But as for the toilet museum, guys, it's so hard to walk with Mercado from point A to point B. Because we see all kinds of places on our way, and several days ago we wanted to go to gym. I'm called from my job, by the way, right now. Several days, but it's like an officer, it's not a commander. Several days ago we wanted to go to that open air gym, and we should visit it 100% because it's so cool. And on our way, we went to Museum of War, Museum of the Lavra complex, Mariinsky Park, the governmental district, and we were so freaking tired. So we decided, no, after that we're done.
It's a lot of exercise, a lot of walking. You really do get your cardio in here. I mean, I think my legs have doubled in size already in terms of muscle and what I've gotten here. It's like, it's not flat city either. Like, and a lot of major U.S. cities are kind of flat, especially like central U.S. and beyond. Here it's like you got hills, like big hills and downhill, and the descent. What is the descent called? The St. Andrew's descent? Yeah. What's it called in Ukrainian?
Andriivsky Uzviz, it's a very old street going all the way downhill, and it's very beautiful. There's a castle.
Oh, yeah.
There,
Been there yet? I mean, we were there to have some dinner, but it was like nighttime. We were there to have some dinner, but it was like nighttime, and I didn't really get to see the sights. The sun was setting. I took a picture, but I got to go back there and like see it and experience it more. Place. All right, a few more questions from Alex, and then we're gonna go have some breakfast. We're gonna walk out in the rain and go get some food. So, Alex, go ahead and ask some questions.
Yeah, we've been asked, Andrew, whether or not we think John Sweeney is still in bed.
Yes, when I got to go out with him again last night to the Caribbean Club. He had tickets, and it was just excellent. Alex would have been there too, but he was planning. He was planning to be somewhere closer to the front today, but like he had mentioned, that got canceled. Probably good news to come in a few days from the Ukrainian soldiers around the front. So,
I'm been asked how long I'm planning on spending in Ukraine this time. About another week.
Leaving the same day.
But then I'm most likely back again at the beginning of August. So I'm literally going home, doing a bit of work, and then picking up another truck and driving that in, as I've got a campaign going for another unit at the moment that's on the front line. And there's a super cool patch actually for that one of Budanov that I've made, the Master of Silence.
That one, yeah, and make sure you guys go check that out. I'll post that. We have our patch. So Starsky has a patch. Alex has a patch. You need a patch. Yeah, plus, bro, you have the coolest design already. It's gonna look awesome. Like they can literally just take your logo, put it on a patch, and it is so cool, bro.
I finally got to do that.
Yeah, bro.
Okay, actually, getting back to
go ahead.
fashion questions.
Yeah.
About your Kraken hat, I'm sure you've been talking about it on the stream before, right?
Yeah.
But I've noticed it, and I just wanted to mention it. There's a Ukrainian flag behind, and there's a Kharkiv black on black embroidered. It looks awesome. Kraken are power.
yes.
Those guys are awesome.
Look at Alex's.
Oh, nice
Alex's
one.
weather
Yeah,
already.
there's also an embroidered and a military style Ukrainian flag that is, how do you call it? A pixel style?
The flag, it's just like a green flag, the flag that is used in on your uniform, on your combat uniform, basically.
Yeah, and it's badass. Like we have, it's similar, obviously in the U.S. We have the IR flags. I gave one to Starsky. It's like black and white. You can see it in night vision goggles really easily. Like it's got things on it. It's like good technology. Same with our uniforms. Our uniforms have like a little slit that you pull up, and then you can see it through night vision. Well. Final thoughts, you guys. Final questions. I can answer some. You got what kind of souvenirs can you get from the? What kind of souvenirs can we get from the toilet museum? Any?
I've been there, by the way.
I'm not sure. Maybe this like toilet brush.
Yeah,
I need one, by the way.
I don't need one. If you ask this.
Like.
I need no. Okay, so there are some magnets, of course, and I guess some small toilets, some. They have a lot of those things there, souvenirs, and of course some brushes. Yeah. More questions, or maybe you want to add something?
Yeah, there was a question from. Oh my God, I missed the name. There was a question for Andrew. When is the wedding?
When is the wedding? To be decided. I mean, I already extended my stay. I have a Ukrainian cell phone. The next steps is Ukrainian wife and Ukrainian home. So I'm checking the blocks as we go off. Yeah.
You're going in, Andrew.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know yet.
No.
That's just the next steps to become full Ukrainian.
I think it is natural. People, the Kraken hats, we get given them by a commander of Kraken because we've given them a lot of equipment. So they're not really publicly available. They're something that you get as a present for supporting the unit. So they are pretty cool. Yeah. Last question for you, really, Merc, as well. About, do you have any views on Ukraine legalizing cannabis for the help with trauma of soldiers?
Yes, actually, you know what's so funny is, ironically, Starsky sent me the newest news update on that, and let me read it really quick. Oh, wrong phone. Golly, I have like 3-4 phones now. And no, I'm not getting married anytime soon, y'all. I was just, I'm not. They're just giving shit. I have no interest in getting married right now. I have too much to do, and I don't even want. Even the idea of kids. I would like kids someday, but where I'm at right now, I'm turning 30. I'm figuring my life out, and I want to make sure I'm like good and set before I start settling down, and I'm not ready to settle down right now and do that.
You're a young man.
Yeah.
You're a young man.
So Starsky sent me that, and it says Ukraine will legalize cannabis to help war-wounded coping with trauma. The overwhelming support for marijuana for medical use marks a turnaround in attitudes towards the drug since the Russian invasion, and that is perfect. I mean, that is perfect. Speaking for myself and also other veterans that are in my community, and also that I've met and talked to and served with, this is an amazing thing. We didn't, even now we're just starting to get more legalization for marijuana, but it really, even in microdosing, like say you don't want to smoke and just get blazed or, you know, and feel like Cheech and Chong, you can do, you know, drops like THC droplets or like topical creams, especially for ailments, and it really does help with mental health. Like it really, really does, and helps with PTSD symptoms. And if you're starting to feel the sweats in the palms, and you get your hair starts standing, and you're like, what the fuck? Like I'm in no control right now, and like I need to calm down. You know, just one little puff, and you're just like, oh man, all right, like you're all right. You don't even need to. Even just the medical aspect is amazing to see, and I'm glad that, you know, Ukraine is going to be leading the way. It looks like, with ironically leading the way for medical marijuana over here in this region of the world, because it is not legal anywhere around here, and to see Ukraine being the leader in that would be absolutely amazing. What are your thoughts, Rick?
I actually want to mention not only the PTSD symptoms, but the pain, the actual pain that soldiers are having right now, because we have a lot of injured soldiers, and a lot of them are badly injured, and their pain is just crazy. And Ukrainian activist and Ukrainian soldier Yuri Hudimenko was actually posting a good post about it yesterday. He was mentioning it, or 2 days ago, it doesn't matter. He was mentioning the huge pain that he had, because he had a severe injury about a year ago. He lost the ability to use his right arm, and his right leg is also badly injured. He is still recovering there. He spent the whole year in different surgeries, and he needs that, and it's still not legalized here in Ukraine. He asked, and he was actually calling for our deputies to finally pass that in our government. And yesterday, I guess, first reading of that law was passed.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's one great step on the way.
And then obviously, Operator Starsky, your take on that?
Yeah, because this law actually was blocked for years by pro-Russian political parties here in Ukraine, as expected. Yeah, so yeah, I absolutely support that. Our wounded soldiers need all kinds of care. So you know, there are people who are afraid that, you know, other people will have access to cannabis and stuff. It all depends on your education. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't need that, but I support that because there are people who need it.
Absolutely. I mean, that's, for me speaking, I mean, first-hand account, in America, the United States, they give our veterans pills like candy. Like, they give us pain pills, and, you know, and that's a faster path to be doing drugs that, you know, like heroin or harder drugs that are going to ruin your life forever. And marijuana, just, I mean, I'm speaking from my own experience. I've gone now a solid week here without it, you know, just fine, no symptoms or anything without having it. But for me, like, it does help at the end of the night now. Like, Alex saw me yesterday looking stressed, and he's like, bro, are you okay? But it's really just because I'm getting a little bit of some symptoms here and there from my PTSD and whatnot, and marijuana does really, really help. But like what Rick the Ukrainian says, it also is really good for physical injuries too as well, and like a natural pain medicine where you don't have to take pain pills or whatever. And I just feel like it's a great thing.
Well, I think those are brilliant answers from you all, so thank you very much. I mean, do you want to wrap it up fairly soon now? I think, you know, minor update on the weather front. It has stopped raining, and as you can see, there is some brightening to the skies, so we're hoping that it's going to clear fairly quickly and be able to go out for breakfast without getting pissed on. I want to apologise slightly if we've missed anyone's questions, because it's been going quite quickly.
I can read the super messages really quick.
Right, well, we will do that super quickly, but the ones that are coming in the chat, you know, they go so quickly that it's hard to keep up between the chatting and getting wet and actually, you know, also trying to look at people and not just like this the whole time. So,
welcome to our life, bro.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's tough, isn't it? I don't know how you do it. Like, well, it's like. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how Starsky does it. Do you have like a phone mount with, like, you know? I mean, it's and that is the power of superhuman Ukrainians.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you.
All right, well, let's do a few of the super messages that came through. Thank you guys again. Well, do you think a Moab would help? Like a Moab.
What is it?
Like a mother of all bombs. It's like a big, I mean, they need precision weapons, you guys. Like I mentioned, they need guided munitions, like even attack-ums, you know what I mean? Like where they know they're going to hit a crucial target. A Moab would just kind of be a destruction of a big area, and they wouldn't be able to, it's just not a really good thing. Duncan, you can't stay long, got to go back to bed. Y'all are doing awesome. Thank you so much. Ozzy with 5 gifteds. Ziggy, welcome to level 1. Wayne with 5 gifteds. Archer says, Ozzy T, you're a legend. Ozzy T is one of the biggest supporters of.
Mine too.
Oh, so
Thank
look at
you,
Rick knows
Ozzy
him. You know Ozzy T? Yeah,
of course.
Look at everyone knows Ozzy T here. Jennifer Borscht Fun, thank you so much. Yeah, I got to have some today. I haven't had some in a few days. I got to try the green one. Trevor, thank you. Ozzy with more gifted, thank you. Newbie Gaming, do you think B-52 realistically helpful, Starsky?
Of course they are. They're bombers.
Yeah.
But in order to use B-52, you have to use air support. You have to use interceptors, support aircrafts like F-16, like F-18.
Yeah.
So they should be used together, like combined.
100%. Combined arms just in the air as well. I mean, Ukraine's doing what they can on the ground with their ground forces to do combined arms with main battle tanks, infantry fighting vehicles, and artillery. But there's the biggest piece missing. I mean, yes, they have like the good pieces of the puzzle with those, but the biggest important piece, and Americans, we would never leave the wire without air support, you guys. And the fact that Ukrainians are having to fight these Russians without any air support, like at the level that we have to protect our ground forces, is insane, but also shows the strength of the Ukrainian people and the Ukrainian soldiers, that they're still having successes across the whole front without air support. It's just, I mean, it's pucker factor without air support. I mean, not having that A-10 up there to call in, or Apaches or a Black Hawk, you know what I mean? Like, we have all that. And Ukraine is not having that, and they need it. Anyways.
People are just saying that we need to put in a cooking section with Borscht of the Day.
The green one, I definitely recommended that one. And I wanted to get to some cooking questions today too, but we don't have much time today, so let's do it on the next one.
Of course. So let's wrap it up. Final thoughts. We'll run down. We'll go Starsky, Rick, Alex, and then I'll send you guys to bed. Final thoughts for the day. Anything?
The show is over for today.
Yes, epic. He did it. He told you guys he's practicing. All right, final thoughts from Rick.
Okay, mine are gonna be a bit longer. Sorry for that, to keeping you starving, guys. But I just wanted to say that I was glad to finally meet you in person. Andrew, it was pretty fast. Starsky, it was a bit longer. I mean, that I met you there online. We haven't met online on streams, so it's actually kind of wow.
It's a good connection now.
Yeah. It's a great one. And thank you, all guys, you there in the chat, for supporting Ukraine, for giving your donations to the armed forces of Ukraine. It's really important to support them because they are the only ones who are gonna really get us that victory and getting us our territories liberated, deoccupied, freeing our people. And I'm pretty sure that it's gonna happen not in years, like it might be happening pretty soon, and we need to help them. We definitely need to help them. So thank you for what you're doing. Let's keep doing it and bringing Ukrainian victory much closer and faster.
Thanks,
Alex?
Rick. Thank you, mate. From my side, thank you for listening again and enjoying the show. I think I'm going to try and bring on some cool stuff next week as well. So we might go down to the warehouse and get some things out of it and show you things that have been used against the Russian orcs. Might also have some Russian stuff that we can show you. And hopefully might get someone on from the front line as well. So it should get quite interesting if we can pull it all off. And as long as we don't get arrested halfway through.
Yeah, we got some plans. We want to have a couple frontline soldiers that have came. They're back, and we have a massive man of an Australian that we're likely going to have on the show on Saturday. Dundee, Alligator Dundee. Yeah. He was at your birthday party. Yeah, he's really into this, and he's trying to do a podcast. So we're going to have him on and talk with him. But yeah, likely going to be going through a Russian MRE. Starsky will assist in calling out what things are and how bullshit and disgusting they are. But we're looking.
Actually, I can bring some of my stuff. I have like half of Ka-52 helicopter at my house.
He probably has enough pieces to put the Ka-52 together, basically what the Russians did. So, and I also have a little bit of maybe a souvenir of Ka-52 that I'm going to keep on my desk when I get back, and that's going to be awesome. So, yeah, you gave your final thoughts already, right? Did you? Already did. I'm still waking up this morning. So thank you guys again so much for tuning in. Please leave a like on the stream, subscribe to the YouTube channel, donate to the NAFO fundraiser. It's in the description. I did hear it has some issues, so I have to double check with Dimitri, make sure the link is good. People are clicking it and some people are getting an error, I guess. Yeah, so we'll get that fixed, you guys. It's no problem. And then also the opportunity I had put in your guys' ear last night for me to go and possibly fire a mortar at Russian positions. We need to push into that. So I'm going to have a PayPal for you guys, and we got to get some drones to the front line, and then that opportunity will be there. But it's always like, if you guys want me to get out closer and see things, we got to provide things also for the soldiers. It's not a tour guide. It's not a chill thing to do. It's, we'll bring them something that they can use to fight the Russians, and then the opportunities will be there, right? The more we do that, the more I'm going to be able to get to the front, especially being independent. Like big news organizations, they have resources to get literally into the trenches and talk with the soldiers, but being a random dude from Minnesota, USA, I got to still continue to do some work and continue to bring vehicles. I don't know if I'll be able to come on the August convoy, because I need to settle back and get my affairs in order at home, but definitely like September convoy, I want to come back. There's other events too that are coming up in the fall that I want to be a part of actually here in Ukraine, so I might actually have a short stint back in the US and then end up coming right on back to Ukraine pretty quickly so I can continue delivering vehicles. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this episode. Again, like the stream, go and subscribe to Rick the Ukrainian's YouTube channel. Of course, Operator Starsky, he's going to have a more detailed news update for you guys here in a few hours, his war update. So have a good day, everyone. See you guys on the next one.
What about
one more note.
Yeah, one more note. Using this opportunity, I would like to pass this message to Vladimir Putin.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because we forgot about it.
Oh, yeah, we did, 100%.
Yeah,
yes.
So Vladimir Putin, do fuck off!
Have a good day, you guys. See you later.
Yeah,
Love that. Slava Ukraine. That's awesome. It's breakfast time now, guys. I built up a hunger now. I'm hungry. What do you guys got? What do you think? Do you think we should go?
Absolutely.
Yes.